Josh Allen seems to be a fan of his offensive coordinator, Joe Brady. While some coordinators are being looked at for head coaching jobs, Allen wanted to send a message to the rest of the league about his OC. Trying to keep his guy.
The guy who's turned him into an MVP. Of course he doesn't want him to go. Of course.
For sure. Have you heard anything interesting about Joe Brady?
Joe Brady's a hot candidate. It's actually not dissimilar to what happened when Brian Daboll was with Josh and then got the Giants head coaching job and was seen as a big culprit in Allen's early success. I think Brady's taken him to another level because he's playing mistake-free football. He's finally figured out this really hard balance, Joy and Paul, of, bless you, my man, Gesundheit. This really hard balance of not turning the ball over, but being aggressive, running, but not getting hit too much. It's really tough. And Josh Allen, we talked earlier about Derrick Henry being this super weapon inside the 20s. Allen's very similar at the quarterback position. And I think Brady, too, what he's done with Khalil Shakir, bringing in Amari Cooper, maximizing James Cook, he has done a fantastic job. He had a very good reputation going into this year. I would say it's sterling now. So he is absolutely going to have an opportunity to be a head coach, and it would hurt them.
Well, speaking of potential head coaches in the NFL, Deion Sanders was asked again if he would consider coaching in the NFL, and he did not shut down the possibility. Sun's up.
They go to the door and open back up. Where's Michael at? Where's the playmaker? Where's his biggest promoter?
Yeah, I know. We don't have Michael in today, but he would definitely, I'm sure he's excited to see
Door's back open, y'all.
Do you want to see Coach Prime in the NFL, Paul?
Of course I want to see Coach Prime because this goes along the lines that I'm talking about. It takes either a special player or a special coach who could come in year one and change the culture, and that's who Deion is. There's a lot of teams out there that need culture building. One of them, the Oakland Raiders. Another one, the New York Giants. I mean, there's several teams that once you change the culture, that doesn't mean you're going to win right away, but you have the basis of it in place. You know what I'm saying? And you build from that, just like they did in Detroit.
Yeah.
You know, they built that culture there, and it took some time, and that's who Deion is, and that's why he should be one of the hottest, if not the hottest commodity on the market to be an NFL coach or anywhere in the world, just coaching, period. When Deion walks in, it's just
there's an
eyes turning, the energy. You hang on every word he's saying, and that's who he is.
The success that Deion had at Jackson State, at Colorado, and then I think most impressively following it up in year two, winning 9 games and getting the success he had from Shador and obviously Travis. But the way that he communicates and relates to players, Paul, there's very few guys that can do that. And if be authentic.
On planet Earth, there's very few.
Right. So Deion Sanders, to me, when I look at him, I think in the right organization, he can be an absolute monster. I think he can skyrocket a franchise from being irrelevant to relevant. Look what he did for Colorado. And that's not only off the field, it's winning. He has won everywhere he's gone. I think Deion Sanders is an absolutely...
Dallas Cowboys. That's probably why we haven't, put the pause button on Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
I would love to see Prime in the NFL, and I would love to see him with the Cowboys. I think Deion Sanders coaching the Dallas Cowboys would be LeBron Big Three-esque. It would be the biggest story in sports. We would cover every second and every millimeter of that story. So selfishly, I want Prime in Dallas. It would be unbelievably interesting. I started my career when LeBron, Bosh, and Wade were in Miami. And to this day, I have not experienced any story in sports that even remotely comes close to the coverage, to the vitriol, to the haters, to the praise, to the excitement, to the coverage. It would just be unbelievable for the sport. And I think he would be successful, just like they were. And that just adds to an incredible narrative. And it would just be... It'd be amazing. Now, I don't think it's going to happen because it seems like Mike McCarthy and Dallas are negotiating.
Dallas declined Chicago's request.
But I also think that Prime with the Raiders in Las Vegas would be prime time as well. I think it would be. I think it would be a beautiful.
That's actually the perfect.
A beautiful place. Dallas to me is 1A, but
you have to trade that.
Las Vegas is
it's not Suns now.
It's not going to happen. But Las Vegas would also be very, very interesting. I don't think every place would have the gravitas.
To handle it.
to handle it because you do have to have the stomach for
Hold on. Give me that again. Gravitas.
Gravitas.
Jacksonville's probably not.
Like the
That's what you're
restaurant,
saying.
yes, like the gravitas.
Okay.
You know, to have the power, to have the energy, you know, to handle everything that would come with that. Like the Miami Heat could handle, Pat Riley could handle the attention,
absolutely.
the onslaught of fans and people. Like you have to be able to have the stomach for that type of thing. Dallas is built for that, and I think the Raiders are built for that as well. And I also think those are two places that should be really interested.
New York
could also do it for sure. New York, 100%.
Woody Johnson is a very specific.
No, not the Jets.
So,
not the
but
Jets.
the Giants have a coach.
That's what I'm saying. That's why. So the Giants could do it, but the Giants are not in the market for a coach. So the jobs, the positions that are open, with the combination of the possibility of getting his sons, I think that those are the two places I would love to see Prime. But yeah, it would be amazing to see him in the NFL, and I think he would be successful. Speaking of Mike McCarthy, the Cowboys head coaching situation, there is a report that Jerry Jones and Mike McCarthy spent significant time on Tuesday and Wednesday discussing the future. The report also said that people in Dallas expect McCarthy to stay with the Cowboys.
Hold the phones. Deion is available. Hold the phones. Let's stop these meetings right now. Go ahead, Jordan.
You're canceling it. That's it. No more.
Do you think the Cowboys should want Mike McCarthy back?
I don't. And I think he had the 3 straight 12-win seasons, and everyone holds on to that. And that's a big deal. Winning a Super Bowl is a big deal. Very few have done it. But I think going back to last year's playoff game, they lose at home to Green Bay. Since then, this team has been average at best. And listen, I like Mike McCarthy. I think he's a good guy. I think he's a good coach. But we talked a lot yesterday or earlier today about having a new voice and the benefits of that.
Yeah.
You know, I know that Dak and Micah and CD have all campaigned for him, and I'll defer to more on Paul with this, but there's just too many expectations, too much money being spent, and too much, like, Jerry is he keeps telling us that this is the best team. I'm going to put together a Super Bowl team. He has to know that Mike McCarthy at the helm is not going to take them anywhere near a Super Bowl. And if he doesn't know that yet, then he's never going to know. But the fact that his contract expired, that they're potentially working on a new deal, and that they denied Chicago's request tells me that there's a pretty good chance I'm going to be disappointed here, because if I'm a Cowboys fan, that's exactly where I'm heading.
Well, maybe he just wants to negotiate with him first. And it may be a situation now they're going to, like, lowball him, you know, because Prime just became available. You know, hey, Mike, come into the office. Sit down. I got this 2-year... $8 million case.
That's not going to cut it.
You know what? I'm out of here, Jerry. Prime, you there? you there, Prime? My man, how you doing, Prime? This is Jerry.
See there. Oh, go ahead, Jordan.
I mean, I just don't think that Mike McCarthy has done a fireable job. And
but has he done an extension-eligible job?
I believe this year, yes.
They were terrible, and they were a sinking
Dak
ship
Prescott
before
was out. They were in a bad spot before, but I don't believe that is all Mike McCarthy's fault. Also, if you lose your starting quarterback for a significant part of the season, it's very difficult to evaluate what you would have been able to be. You also had time without DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons. This was a bad down year. But when I look at the totality of what Mike McCarthy is, when you're talking about what is a good coach and not a good coach, well, then I got to look around the league. Who are your peers?
He's probably somewhere in the middle.
Who can I compare you to? Do we think John Harbaugh is a good coach?
I do.
Yes.
They are the same coach. Mike McCarthy won a Super Bowl in 2010. John Harbaugh won a Super Bowl in 2012. Lamar Jackson did not reach an AFC championship game until last year. In what year? His 6th season? Hello?
But
Mike McCarthy has only been in Dallas for 5 years. He's going into his 6th season. They do the exact same job. They've run the exact same job. They have almost a mirror. They have almost the identical resume. It is almost identical. The difference is Mike McCarthy is coaching for the Dallas Cowboys, and the Dallas Cowboys, with every breath they take, there is this 30-year albatross hanging over everything. They've done the exact same job. They are the same coach. I can read it to you here. I mean, they have the almost identical overall record, the almost identical playoff record. They have the same amount of Super Bowls. He went back to an NFC Championship game when he was in Green Bay, so it wasn't like he just went to the Super Bowl and was never back to getting there again. John Harbaugh just went to an AFC Championship game last year. He's won 12 games in a row. They are in position to get over the top. Last year, that playoff game was a failure. There's no question about it. Losing to Green Bay, the way that they did at home after winning 16 straight at home, the youngest team in the playoffs coming into your building with an unproven quarterback in the postseason, that was a cataclysmic disaster. That was a fireable job. But if you're going to keep him and you're going to have him walking around the building on an expiring contract, which everyone knows, when there's somebody who doesn't have the gravitas to be able to say, I'm going to be here, you better do what I'm telling you to do, or I will have a say in whether you're here next year. You can't walk around like that. You have to give your coach and the other coaches the ability to talk like that. But has he done a fireable job? No. Not to me.
Does the truth have gravitas?
No, yes, the truth has gravitas. Hey, but listen, this is what it is. It's not about his resume, because when you play for bigger-than-life brands like the Dallas Cowboys, like the Yankees, like the Lakers, there's expectation and there's needs for a scapegoat when things don't go right.
For sure.
And it's usually the coach. Now, since I paid Dak, it's not Dak. Since I paid CeeDee Lamb and you're about to pay Micah, they can't go down as the scapegoat because you can't trade them right now. The obvious scapegoat is Mike McCarthy.
There is a, I say this with great respect to Mike McCarthy, there is a ceiling to what he brings you as a head coach. He's more of a floor guy, in my opinion. He's, at worst, you're going to have a season like this. 7 wins.
I think it could also get a lot worse. The main indictment I have of Mike McCarthy is the rushing offense and the rushing defense. They have not been able to fix the rush defense in his time there. That has been a huge problem. If you can't stop the run, which is what we say every single year about the Dallas Cowboys, you have to address that. So there's certainly things you can be critical of him. I'm just saying, let's keep the same energy if everybody has the same resume about what it is a good coach, what a qualified good coach is. If Chicago Bears are asking to interview him for a reason, and he will get hired the second that Dallas lets him go, if they do.
If Michael Irvin, the playmaker, is telling us, and he knows as well as anyone, a change needs to be made.
I don't question. I don't question.
He's been saying that.
He put Mike on the hot seat.
If Prime is coming, forget everything I said. Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.